Okay, we are live. Hey, Janie, how are
Hi,
you?
Catherine. Good. How are you?
I am doing great. Have a little chat from Robin. Um, Hi, Robin.
Oh, nice.
Um, hey, so anyway, we have, I am sure that all of the people listening are very, very busy with trying to find listings in this market where there doesn't seem to be anything. And when you tend to work that hard, you're in the moment, which is really a good thing because that's what everybody says, you should be in the moment. However, in real estate, we're like farmers. We're always, planting seeds. And the key to that success, as Janie has outlined in her presentation for the expired luxury listings, is consistency. So we've talked about that there. But today we're going to specifically talk about consistency in your marketing, where you will be at the top of mind in May, June, and July. So you're not having to start from scratch, which I know I've had that happen. Everybody's had that happen. You're so busy, you're making so much money, and then one day you go, oh my God, I don't have any listings. And how
Yeah.
did that happen? So we don't want that. So we need to get that pipeline going, and those people may not be ready, but they're seeing your name every single week or month. So we need to make sure that you're at the top of mind. So Janie, what's your top tip for being top?
I think having a marketing calendar planned out, because certainly what I've struggled with in the past, and I think a lot of people struggle with, is they're so busy that they're just taking everything that comes their way. They're being a fireman, they're putting out things. And if they don't already plan what they plan to do as far as marketing and have a marketing calendar where they know, okay, every Monday I'm going to send my email, or every 2 weeks I'm going to send my direct mail postcard, or every day I'm going to do my expires, whatever that is, every day I'm going to do my social media, whatever it is. So easily we're kind of taken by the whim of what's going on and flung around. Direct mail can be extremely productive, but
Agreed.
it's the thing that if you don't stick to it, you're throwing your money out the window. And so just having a marketing calendar, plan the next quarter, plan the next 6 months, even plan the next year of what you plan to do in your different ways, and your marketing budget. Because I think the other thing is, we as agents, we love to chase, as Laura says, squirrels or shiny new objects. And we think, oh, that's going to be the solution. And we just do these things willy-nilly. We don't see them through. We're not consistent. They don't pay off. And so it's very unproductive and costly to tackle that thing. So I would say a marketing calendar and a marketing budget are the number 1 and 2 things you can do.
So JD, do you use any particular calendar for your marketing calendar, or do you use just whatever's on your computer? Like, do you have a system?
No, like an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe you can share the outline of that for us.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely about consistency with what you've chosen to do. If you've chosen to do in your budget, put down, I'm going to do postcards. I'm going to go after absentee owners. I'm going to go after expired listings. Whatever it is, do it in advance. Have a realistic budget that goes with that. As realtors, we get called by every Tom, Dick, and Harry because they all want to part us with our money. And they say, oh, look at this. You can get leads. You can this and that. You can talk to all those people, but let them know that your marketing budget is set for the year. Now, if you want to increase it, yes, and you can just say, okay, I'm going to do this much, and I'm going to do one more thing that adds on, but do not take away from what you've already committed to now, because it's just, it's like just before it's about to pop, you go, this thing's not working. And then you stop doing it. Don't do that. Give everything that you're doing at least 1 year marketing wise. So if it means sending out these postcards, have a great postcard that you're going to send, and don't send the, here's the house I sold and the pictures and the phone number, and then 5 bedrooms, whatever. Nobody cares. The house is sold, right? So
Right.
what you want to do is you want to say on the back, don't, you know, maybe on top, you can say how many baths, whatever. On the back, just say, I sold this home in 3 days. This is your neighbor's home. Please let me know if we can come and talk, and I can show you how we can do it too. And you will get a response from those things. Now,
Right.
if you even go a step further, try to find their email addresses. You can follow up with an email. And if they find that you're pestering them, fine, get rid of them. You don't need to hear that negativity. Put somebody else on your list. And we recommend, when you're going after absentee owners, look at it really hard. Make sure that they're in fact really an absentee owner. Like I did my absentee owner list in my area, and it was like the Catholic Church. Well, yeah, they're not absentee. They're there every day.
Right.
So make sure you pick your names. Get 50 names. Do not get more than that. Know the names, know the property, because if they call you, you want to say, oh yes, I know your house, or I know the neighbor's house, and really get to know that. And send them a handwritten note. Don't just throw postcards their way. They deserve
Right.
to have, you should, and Janie and I, we both have really nice embossed postcards in an envelope. They're getting these other postcards by the dozen. You can send a nice handwritten letter. It's only 50 people, folks. It's 30 days in a month. You know, just do like 2 a day, and get that out. And
don't use hand address it. Don't do labels.
no.
With a nicer pen. Like I always use like a gold gel pen or a white
Ooh,
gel pen or
I
a
like
silver
that.
gel pen, not chunky, fine, on a dark envelope, like a navy blue or black or whatever your color is, and get a stamp. I have some right around here. Don't use the generic flag stamps or forever stamps that looks like generic mail. I always have a host of a variety of the stamps that are available at the post office right now that are
Huge,
different.
big difference.
Those little things make a huge difference.
And then your budget isn't gone with sending out 1,000 postcards.
Right.
You are sending, I mean, how much is this going to cost you? Not that much. It's going to
Right.
cost you time. So this is a really good thing for the beginners out there who are trying to get into luxury.
Right.
And so, but make sure that your 50 list is really good. And if you're not getting any kind of, I don't know, response, or you feel like this one isn't particular, get them off your list, bring in somebody else. Like
Right,
just
right.
always, like if you say, oh, wow, this is an investment property and they keep renting it, that's different. But anyway, you will know what to do. This is what we do. This is where you use your common sense and your market knowledge. And if you've been watching this series, you know one thing that we really keep stressing over and over is your market knowledge.
Market knowledge, and everything that people touch or see from you, whether it's signs or your cards or your papers for your presentation, should be high quality. It needs to feel good, look good, not overdone with a lot of colors and a lot of logos and a lot of this and that, not just elegant, streamlined, high quality papers, high quality inks, high quality everything.
High quality
Because
fonts.
you become the brand. Yeah, high quality font. You become the brand.
Yes. And that's
Yeah.
why I know I joined EXP, and I know Janie, you joined EXP, is that we get to be the brand. We're not spending our marketing dollars marketing for Compass or Sotheby's or
Right.
whoever. We're marketing ourselves. And so there's that. So that's a good, easy one. There's no excuse for not doing that.
Right.
Go to the post office. And by the way, if you don't have your own cards yet with your own name and all that, because it takes a while, just go to Hallmark or whatever and pick up some beautiful cards. And
Yeah, With you can get with your leather, like a C for Catherine, or yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, fantastic from the get-go, whatever it is that you need.
Right.
So Janie, what would you say would be the smartest moves to put on their marketing budget? Like, and how about this? We could do it where you're a beginner agent, you're a medium agent, and then you're off the charts amazing agent already.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of direct mail, whether that's direct mail in the form of farming or direct mail, like you said, a targeted list of absentee owners. But you have to, that's a long haul marketing plan. So you have to plan for that long haul kind of thing.
Consistency.
Consistency, yes.
Yes.
I'm personally not a fan of cold calling or door knocking to raise your average price point. I know some people do that, but that's not kind of my thing. Developing a really nice social media presence, if that's something you enjoy, useful videos for the area that you're serving. You have to remember also, buyers don't vet their buyer's agents the same way listing agents do. So sometimes the entree into the luxury world is to get the luxury buyers first.
Yes.
That get you in, that gets you the experience, that gets you the exposure, that gets you the market knowledge. And then you can start sharing that on your social media. Once you start to get some sales, you can start marketing your solds. And that's kind of the easiest way in. To go from bread and butter to luxury listings is sometimes harder, but to go into luxury buyers first is often easier, and that pulls you up. Unless you have a specific niche, we always talk about niches too, where you can rise up in your niche. So I do historic homes. It's easier to go up in price point within that historic home framework because I already have something special as far as knowledge. I know that went off on a tangent from what you asked, but
what do you think? What percentage should someone allocate out of their marketing budget for direct mail?
well, so the area that I farm is around 3,000 homes, and I do all the homes. I do it with every door direct mail, and I send twice a month, and I think it's around $1,300 per mailing. I also have a list of our past clients. I also have a list of special people who might not be in the direct farm list, like your expired mailing list, and mail them the same things. So whatever I'm mailing to the Every Door direct farm list, I'm also mailing our past clients, our sphere of influence, as well as some other people that are outside of that Every Door direct mail, because Every Door direct mail is also going to the property. That's not going to get your out of town owners. So you've got to scrub and create a separate list to hit the owners for that too. So our whole combination of the EDDM, the out of town owners, and the SOI is around 3,000.
So what would you say that percentage is out of your marketing budget on a monthly or annual basis?
About a third.
1/3. Okay, that's very
Yes,
good.
about a third.
Yeah. And how much of it do you think it results in your sales?
I don't know. We've only been doing this particular farm maybe 8 months. So we've already gotten calls, but I'm not far enough into it because I've always told people when you start to farm an area, you're looking at 6 to 12 months before it really starts to hit, because you're waiting for somebody to be at a position in their life that they're ready to list their house. So farming totally works. It just takes time to get there.
Right. And so if you don't have that kind of a budget and you just got your license, you just got to do it. Do the absentee. That is a nice small amount.
Yeah, because that's a smaller, exactly.
Yeah, and you could do that. And Janie mentioned EDDM. For those of you who don't know what that is, so you can send the postcard to a whole zip code or the whole town, which is much cheaper than if you were to select people. So you can get a lot more out there for a lot less money. And I believe EDDM only, it also works with zip code, not just the town. So let's say you have a lesser zip code. or whatever.
Yeah, you go into, you just go to the USPS because it's through the post office. Go into the USPS and use their EDDM tool, and then you can click on the different postman's routes that you want. And if you do that, make sure that you don't do business and residential, that you're only sending to the residential addresses. And you can click, it's by post person's route. So you can do the whole zip code, you can do a portion of the zip code. It's totally up to you.
Yes, but a good way to save some money is to cut down on the amount you send.
Yeah.
And it really does make a difference. One time, I've been doing postcards for like my whole career. One time, there was a potential client. Their mom had passed away. They were going to sell the house, and the house had been empty for a while. So when the heirs came to look, they saw like 7 of my postcards in the mail. Boom, boom, boom. And they're like, she must be the it girl. So they
Right.
called me, I got the listing, and then I sold it. And that was 100% from a postcard. Otherwise they would never know me.
Right.
They had another friend who was the sister had a friend who was a realtor, and the brother was the trustee. He was the one who found my postcards, and they picked me and paid me 6%. So we like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it works. I have
I would
another
like to
very
talk
funny
a bit-
story about that, but anyway, go ahead. But that's all fine. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Remind me. Okay.
But again, I want to go back to the squirrels and shiny objects, because
Yes.
so many agents, it's our natural, it's just our natural personality. We want to
Yeah.
try all things.
And also, we are the easiest people to sell because we're
To be sold,
salespeople.
yeah.
We want to believe everybody we hear. Like, of course,
Yeah.
they can't lie to me because I would never lie
Yeah.
to someone. Yeah, we are suckers for salespeople. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I would just caution people to find 3 to 5 avenues of lead gen and stick to them until you're consistent with them and you've perfected them before you start adding other things. You can't do all the things. You can't do blogging and market events and direct mail and great social media and great YouTube videos, and you can't do it all. You need to pick the things that you get excited about, that you can be consistent about, that works with your budget, that works with your time, that you have available to do it, and really stick to that.
Yes. And again, make a commitment that you're going to do this for a year, because that's what it's going to take. So next we will talk about online marketing. Now, online marketing, you may not have to be quite as consistent with, because it's getting in their faces all the time anyway, but I urge you to be consistent with that too. And so being with EXP, we have KV Core, and through KV Core, we have Inside Real Estate. And so through Inside Real Estate, whenever I've had an open house that I've done, or I have a new listing or new sold, they send me an email and it says, Catherine, congratulations. Or I see you're having an open house. Would you like to promote this? So, and when I started, I was like, I'm not using KV Core. I've got my own $6,000 website. It's fabulous. So anyway, so I was like, right, Janie, didn't I say that? I was like, I'm not using that. So then anyway, so then I was like, I did the ad. It was $45 for 4 days on Facebook. And I wound up getting real leads. I don't know what they do, and I don't know how they do it. And just because I like to see what's going on, I try to put my own Facebook lead with my listing and do an open house. And so to see how many people are they sending to me and how many people am I getting myself. And so me, when I did it, my ad was rejected. Facebook likes to reject realtors. So you really have to go with a professional to do it. It's probably a lot cheaper too. So the reason they rejected my ad is because they said, oh, you are talking about drinking. I'm like, what are they talking about? I said an open bar. I said a bar. It has a wet bar. And that,
oh gosh.
Yeah. So because I put my description, it was like this, and a wet bar. They're like, nope. And I guarantee you, if I had put something, if I'd gotten rid of that, put something else in. And so after a couple of attempts at that, I said, you know what, why don't I let the people who do what they do better? It's like $45. And So when they sign up, it goes into my KV core, they're in my CRM, they get emails from me and all of that. One of the houses that I listed, I wound up getting 8 buyers, real good buyers. But it was like $800,000 house. We sold for 850, but I didn't really want those buyers. That was a referral from a friend of mine in California. So of course I'm going to take care of them as much as I would take care of the $8 million buyer. But that wasn't an interest to me, but I wanted to sell the house, and that house was packed, and we sold it in 6 days with multiple offers. And that's what I care about more than anything. And I did that with several things, and I've tested it. Like one time I said, I'm not going to put my little ad in on Facebook through KV Core. And we had like 1 person show up.
Oh, wow.
The week before, now this is like a $3.5 million house. The week before we had 15. The week after, when I put the ad in again, we had 20. But that week that I did not advertise, we had like 1. So that really works. So you have to be, once again, consistent with it. And they're buyers. They're the buyers that are going to be buying your listing, and you could double end it, which is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, you can't do that in all states, but you can do that here in Florida too.
And you could do it in California and in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I end up with a lot of both sides because I do so much marketing on my listings that a lot of people find it directly through my efforts. So that's another thing, is just making sure that you do a great job marketing your listings when you do get the luxury listings. And we should probably do a separate training just on marketing your listings.
I had a listing appointment today, $12 million home, which I'm going to get it. Well, we agreed. So I'm getting it. I just have to send her the agreement. Don't you all try to figure out who it is. So anyway, but first, so we've already had all the other conversations that we've talked about in this program. But again, here we are, we're looking at timing. So when are we going to put it on the market and all of that? Please be ready for these questions. You go in and say, well, I guess I can have the photographer here next week, and then we could put it on the MLS by the week after. Does that work for you? It's about the worst thing you could say. And that's not what a luxury advisor does. You should have the answer in your head. Like, you should have this memorized of exactly what you're going to do. And so I went through, remember, they don't know what we know. So I went through the whole thing. It's like, okay, we are going to get the professional photographer, get the professional videographer. I'm going to be doing this. We're going to do events here. We're going to do an event with Lamborghini and Ferrari and Bentley, and they're going to bring their cars here, and we're going to invite their clients, and I'm going to invite other potential buyers for this property. We are going to have this on Forbes Global Properties. We are going to have it in the DuPont registry. Just make sure that you're asking for 6% on a $12 million house. Make sure that you earn your keep. And then you're going to say, I'm going to be here doing every single showing. Can you imagine? They thought that I would just send them and she would be showing the house.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine on a $12 million?
No, I had that asked recently. Somebody asked me that recently on another pretty high. And I was like, no, of course we show it. We were the ones who promote it, and we know the house really well. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's another topic. But anyway, today is all about consistency.
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 And I think consistency, by the way, it's not just about marketing. It's about following up with your sphere of influence, following up with your database, making sure that you're capturing all your leads and the people you talk to and putting them in your database, and then following up with them. It's all those things, all those little daily habits.
The number one thing you just said that I love is putting your leads in the database. How hard is that? Somebody tells you at a party, I want to buy a house in your area. Put the lead in your database, start to send them listings on automatic pilot. They told you, this is my price, this is, and then if they don't want it, then they can say, I'm not really ready for that, whatever. But be consistent and do those things. I feel like sometimes, just as human nature, we tend to put off the things that could be the most lucrative and the easiest for later because we're like, oh, I'm going to need that one day and I'm going to work on the hard stuff that's yucky. No, do the pleasurable stuff immediately, especially if it's going to be able to get you a sale with somebody who you know and trust and who's told you they're looking.
Right. No, putting the leads and capturing, if somebody just calls you about your property, capture it, put it in your, like, we talk to so many people and we do such a bad job as agents to capture all those contacts and put them in our email list or put them in our follow-up plan. We do so bad at that. If we just did a good job of capturing the people who are already contacting us, that alone is going to increase your business. But back to the luxury marketing and consistency. Now, if you haven't done it already, it's January of 2022. So create your marketing plan at least for the next 6 months, if not for the whole year. You don't have to have the content specific, but this is when I'm going to send postcards. This is when I'm going to do social media posts. This is when I'm going to do whatever it is that you do, open houses or blog posts or market reports, monthly or quarterly market reports, whatever that is, and plan it out so that you're not like constantly playing catch up with dealing with your deals and dealing with agent attraction. If you're doing that you forget to do the marketing and that you're on the roller coaster of marketing, because that's the kiss of death and it's wasting your time and money because it doesn't convert consistently.
Yeah. And in your marketing plan, don't forget to have an event with your sphere of influence. Remember, we talked about that last week. Who are those people who are going to give you business? So see if you can go to the top yacht dealer in your area. Go see if you can meet with the Lamborghini people and say, hey, I'd like to do an event with you. And if you have an open house, bring them in. So really just make that at the top as well. And you can have a bank or someone sponsor the luncheon and they can bring food. So this, again, it's a consistent thing. People will look forward to it and it does not cost you that much money.
And I want to point out something too, Catherine. Luxury in Topeka, Kansas is different than luxury in Boston. It's different than luxury in St. Augustine, where I am. It's different in LA. Luxury is defined by the Institute of Luxury Home Marketing as the top 10% of your market. So if you took all the homes that sold in the last 6 months, let's say there's 4,000 of them, the price point, if you ordered them by price, the price point of the 400th home, so the top 10% of the market, that's luxury in your market. I consider luxury really about the top 5% price point of the, and then the uber luxury, the top 1%. But when Catherine is talking about Lamborghinis and yachts and things like that, that's because she's in Boston and she deals with Boston and LA and the Cape. And so her clients are 8, 10, 15, 20, $100 million clients, and they have yachts and Lamborghinis and those things. I'm in St. Augustine. We don't really see Lamborghinis. We see sometimes Range Rovers, or sometimes we don't really even see Bentleys or anything like that. We see nicer boats, but not the kind of boat that she's used to seeing. My luxury market is very different than hers, and it might be very different where you are. Your luxury market, it could be Mercedes and BMWs, and maybe they don't have boats. So don't get hung up to think, oh, I don't have a market with luxury yachts and Ferraris and Lamborghinis. That doesn't matter. What is the luxury for your market? And just look at your MLS, see all the homes that sold in the last 6 months or year, sort them by sold price, and find the top 5 or the top 10%. That's where I really consider the top 10% like starter luxury. And you'd be surprised too how low it probably is as starter luxury. And the top 5% is really luxury, and the top 1% is like the uber luxury. Start with the luxury, the top 10%. You might already be selling mostly in that price point. So don't get hung up when we talk about these other things, because it's different for every person's market. But there is a top 5 and a top 10% in every single market. That might be $100,000, but that's the luxury in your market. So do the research too to find out what luxury is in your market, and don't discount everything we say, because Catherine's market is way different than mine. Way different. Way, way, way different. We just don't have that stuff. In other parts of my state, we don't have that stuff at all. So anyway, I just wanted to say, don't get hung up and thrown off thinking that you don't have that in your market. You do have luxury, it just might be a different price point.
Yes, and in our state, Massachusetts, I mean, there are places that are, $150,000 homes. So
Right.
yeah, so don't do that. And by the way, I think I'm such a big deal, but then I see my old friends, current friends, but I don't see them anymore, selling $200 million house, 150 million. And it's like, okay, just get it done. And I'm like, just laughing, like that used to be my life. And that's what I used to do.
Right.
And now I have had to now lower my price level too. And by the way, you better not let that ego get in the way of that, because you will starve. So
Right.
sell what you got.
Now what you got? Awesome. Well, thank you, Catherine. This is awesome.
Thank you, Janie. I just feel like we get better and better all the time.
We love it.
All right. All right. If anybody you think needs to see this, have them go on Game Changers Live and watch this on Facebook.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.